Welcome back to the 2021 edition of Industrial Design Trends. 2020 and 2021 were kind of a pretty crappy year, but surprisingly, some really cool designs came out. So last year I made a video about industrial design trends. I think a lot of people really appreciated it, and some people even said I was ruining industrial design. So this year I'm going to ruin industrial design again. For 2021, I'm going to show you 9 trends for industrial design and how to implement them and when to implement them in your product designs. I'm not only going to show you the trends, but I'm also going to design 3 products. We're going to design a thermometer, a phone sterilizer, and an air filter. Industrial Design Trends 2021. It's going to be every time. Okay, and we are back with the trends for forms, details, and finishes. Let's jump right into it with form. We're gonna start off simple. The first trend we have this year is the bent stick trend, something that looks kind of like a stick shape or a long tube, and it's bent. Sometimes it looks like a bent tube, and sometimes it looks a little bit fatter. It's great if you have something that has some direction to it. This one's a great example because it shows there's 2 points of interaction. I think something like this is exactly what we're going for in our thermometer. As you can see, this bent stick trend works great. Has a nice ergonomic feel to it. We have the infrared reader element at one end, and we have the display readout at the other end. So jumping into trend number 2, I call this one the Neopill. So you may remember last year that we had the pill shape as a trend. A traditional pill shape is made out of 2 half circles and a rectangular section between them. With the Neopill, what we're doing is we're modifying those half circles on the ends. What happens is you end up getting a shape that's a bit between a normal pill shape and a rectangle. If this was a pill shape, you would have a lot of space loss on the edges, but because it's kind of like a Neopill, you can fill up the space to the end of the shoe rack. And sometimes it's kind of like a short, fat version, like almost a squircle. Sometimes you see it kind of a bit longer. So it's a pretty versatile shape, very useful, very functional. Visually, it's a bit more relaxed than a rectangle and a pill. It's not as rigid. Hashtag chill tangle. So let's use this as a base for our next product design. Took that Neopill, we turned it into an air purifier. It's a nice soft shape. I think it'll fit in interior and room pretty nicely. Tapered or truncated, I'm not really sure what to call this. Instead of having an extruded form that goes straight up, we have something that extrudes kind of with a tapered angle. And what you get are these really solid looking vertical structures. This is a great example. If it was just a vertical shape, it might look a little bit unstable, but because we have this nice taper to it, like a sumo wrestler, you know, you can't knock this thing over. It's tough. This would be great for a phone sanitizer. It's something like basically a toaster. Instead of making toast, you're cleaning the corona off your phone. This tapered, truncated shape really makes it look very stable, solid. This thing's not gonna tip over. So the first detail trend I have this year is something that's really high contrast and really just pops, you know, it just pops. Floating forms, floating surfaces, floating islands, something like that. What does it do? It pops. This is a great example. We have a surface of a lighter material and then behind it is a darker material. It's almost like the background, the dark stuff just fades away and the lighter material just comes up. On the headphones, what it ends up doing is highlighting the sustainable material. With the thermometer, I really wanted to draw more attention to the lens, but I also wanted to protect it a little bit. Oh yeah, okay, that's definitely loud, it pops. It's definitely a bit strong, but it's cool. What the dip is we have this surface that kind of falls into itself, and it's almost like if you had a big bowl of pudding and you dropped a rock in it and just kind of sucked itself down. This is really the visual representation of really natural form. It's really soft and flowing feeling, especially when you're contrasting it with kind of these hard edges and shapes here. Because the surface is kind of falling into this dip, your eyes naturally kind of follow with that direction as well. Also, what it gets used functionally for is to direct the interaction. So I think we need a little bit more guidance on this interaction here. Now we have this top surface that looks like it's falling in. I think it definitely directs people a bit more. If the last trend was the sound, then this trend would be the sound. What I call it is the running chamfers or running surfaces. I think one reason I really like this trend is because it's a nice mix between technical and natural. And it's really some surfaces running around the edge of a product. I think this has actually been going on a long time in sports equipment and automotive design. But why it's a trend this year is because it's starting to branch out into a lot of other product categories. I think this thing doesn't really say performance right now. It's really static and flat. And I think these running chamfers are really gonna help us show that this is an air purifier that really sucks. Oh yeah, that really did exactly what I wanted to do. Now it looks like something that has a bit of performance to it, a bit of dynamicism. So now we're getting to our last category, jumping from details to finishes. This is my second favorite trend this year. Deep debossed texture in the product that's not just a straight line, it's like kind of has some flow. It's really good if you need something with some grip, but also just to visually make things more exciting and accentuate the curves of a surface. So for instance, you can see here that this really highlights how the surface moves and flows. Even if you have a solid geometric shape, it'll kind of make it a bit more fluid. A lot of this stuff would be really hard to make with traditional manufacturing techniques. With 3D printing, it's so easy. Throw it on your 3D printer and it comes out perfect with all the flowing, beautiful textures you could ever want. I wanted to add a grip, and I think the flowing texture is going to make a really nice addition to that. Let's add some material to it while we're doing this as well. Whoa, yeah, that's cool. Wow, that gives the product a lot of character. If you were wondering what the industrial design color of 2021 was, here it is. It is reds and corals. And it's really not just one type of red. You get the whole range of red. You have these really dark, desaturated kind of brick red tones, and then some more kind of classic normal red colors. And then you have a bit more lighter, desaturated, maybe more salmon. You can use it in a little bit of your product or the whole product. It really makes it stick out. One reason I think this is coming up so much is I think we're getting past subtle minimalism. Designers are getting bolder and exciting-er. I was a little worried that the toaster was maybe a bit too basic. Let's add some red to it. Oh yeah, that's all it needed. People are gonna see it. People are gonna look at this thing when it's in the room. And I saved the best for last. So this one actually is my favorite trend of this year. I call it openly recycled. Manufacturers will collect a lot of old plastic like bottle caps and stuff like that and remold it back together into a new shape. You get this recycled plastic, psychedelic, awesome material. It's basically like terrazzo went to a Grateful Dead concert. It's like if speckled plastic took acid. It's like if normal plastic had a baby with a lava lamp. And what's great about it is sustainability has become a badge of honor. Every product becomes unique. Every time you mold this plastic, you're gonna get a different texture, different colors, different grain, and it's kind of like working with wood. No individual piece is going to be like another production piece. Let's take this middle surface. Oh wow, oh that's so cool. Oh my god, I like that so much. And it really accentuates this recycled plastic part. So those are the trends. We have our thermometer, we have our phone sanitizer, and we have our air purifier. I hope this inspired you to go out and do something cool and amazing that you're really proud of and that makes a lot of people happy. If you want to follow up on the products you saw in this video, check out the links in the description. There's a lot of really cool, awesome designers that are doing some great stuff out there. Thank you to all of you. Okay, that's all I can think of to say. So now we're gonna go.